Howdy folks, my name is Effing Controller, and this is another exciting installment of Pacific Theater Operations 2. And it is my favorite day of the year in-game. It is April 1st, otherwise known as April Fool's Day, otherwise also known as Act Like an Asshole Day, and Get Away With It Day, which is the best part of it. And I think actually the whole month of April, we're just going to be acting like huge assholes. There's going to be assholes all over the place because we have 117 Super Dude as our chief of asshole operations. Which, having said that out loud, sounds really horrible in a lot of ways. But having gotten the introduction out of the way, having called my commanding officer an asshole in a couple of ways right out of the gate, let's go ahead and talk about the month of asshole hijinks that Super Dude has planned for us. He's outlined a very ambitious plan. Indeed, it is so ambitious that he concedes that it will need to be continued beyond his tenure of this month. So all of you assholes in waiting, you need to pay attention. His two basic goals are thus: he wants to initiate an invasion of the United States on July 4th, and then he also wants to, diminish the Army's role in the war and in politics, probably more so in politics, and boy, I think that's a splendid idea. But let's talk about his first goal, the whole invading America thing. He has dubbed it Operation Independence Day, starring Bill Pullman and Will Smith. Super Dude knows that, of course, he can only give me commands to the end of this month, but he wants to kind of lay the groundwork for an invasion of the U.S., and, you know, I guess it's up to future admirals to commence that invasion, should they be so inclined, but if they don't want to, there's nothing he can do about it, and there's nothing I can do about it. But he wants me to achieve this. He wants me to max out my transports and my subs when we have our next meeting at the end of this month, and he has specified that I use, quote, the largest possible submarines for use in fleet combat. So you jerks are probably going to be seeing, well, possibly, I shouldn't say probably, you're going to be seeing the stupid I-400s come online, depending on, well, it depends on how quickly they can be built. And I think it might take a few months to get those created and built and whatever. So look forward to that. I sure am. They're a waste of everything. They're just immense. They have a huge amount of armor, but that's really the only benefit to using one of those. But that's further on down the road. I'm not going to think about it too much. But I will, as he has requested, try to build a few of those. But let's talk turkey. Let's talk about what we're actually going to be doing this month to achieve his aims. He wants me to push east to obtain a viable base for Operation Independence Day. There are only a few eastern approaches that we can take. Let's actually look at the assets map, because that's really the more important, the supply net. That's really the more important thing that we need to be looking at. Because we can't just, for instance, go take Seattle, because we wouldn't be able to supply it. It would be kind of a mess. We could just go through the Aleutians here. The problem with the Aleutians, though, is that despite how I believe that they would be lightly defended, but the problem with them is that they're really badly underdeveloped bases. They have, I think each one of them has a single harbor. They have no dry docks. They aren't optimal. They could be used, but they're not great. Our other option would be to go through Palmyra, the Palmyra Atoll here. Is that how you say it? Atoll? I don't care at all. Oh, it's a pun. Get ready for more of those. We could go through Palmyra and then actually go directly to the U.S., possibly, but we would still have this little issue here with Hawaii. And Hawaii really needs to be the focus of whatever it is that we do. So it's either through Palmyra or through Midway. Midway is more likely, in my opinion, to be more heavily defended. I think that bypassing Midway is a splendid idea. It's more likely that we'll be able to take Palmyra without opposition and then scoot on up to Hawaii. So that's what my plan is. We're going to do the old right hook here. We're going to go like that. Yeah, we'll just swing up to Hawaii from there. It kind of sounds like I'm taking this a little bit casually, I guess, the way that I'm describing this, which is incorrect. It makes it sound like I'm swinging up to Hawaii as a part of my daily errands. Like I'm going to go up there and like buy a 6-pack of Pabst and a bunch of Velveeta, which is basically what I subsist on. The fact of the matter is, though, is that this is really going to be pretty difficult. Hawaii will get Marines deployed directly out of their reserves. So if they have any reserves, they will be deployed in Hawaii. And also they could have Marines sent over from the mainland. Now, note that I am saying Marines. I cannot get Army troops sent over from the mainland because Army troops are completely reliant, as far as I know, on having Navy fleets transport them across the ocean. So they can't just be sent over like we can do with our Marines, where we can send them between bases just because we're the Navy and we're great and we can use our transport ships to do that. The Army cannot do that. So that's the idea. As far as actually on the topic of Army troops, let's talk about his other operation, which has been very cleverly called Operation Army Downsizing. I don't think that's a code or anything. He basically wants me to redeploy as much of the Army as possible to our Western theater. And I'm bringing up this screen here, which shows the Army, basically. The little guys here, that means there's just one Army division there. This means that there are 2 Army divisions, and this means this is the only base. I think this is Marshall, right? Yeah, that has 3 Army divisions there. We have no need to have 3 Army divisions there. So what I'm going to be doing is having some of my fleets swing by these assorted bases, pick up at least a division or 2 or 3, and then send them over here. A lot of them are going to be antsy in their pantsies to start fighting in India, although he ultimately wants us to declare war on China, and that's one of his goals for the monthly meeting that we're going to have ahead of us. So he wants to... he's operating under the assumption that things will not go well for the Army in China or India. I don't know about that. I am inclined to think that because of the dire situation that the Allies are in, that we might actually do pretty well against them there. But, hey, you know, I could be in for a terrible, horrible surprise. So, that's the idea behind Operation Army Downsizing. Basically, he just has, like me, he has a very unhealthy revenge fantasy that he wants to engage in against the Chief of Staff, and, you know, I have no problem with that. But one thing about that, though, as far as how annoying that guy is during the meetings, from what I've been told by other viewers, the assorted members of the monthly conference, they get more cards based on how they have performed in the previous conference. It's not necessarily based on actual performance in the war. So I don't know if this will work as far as removing the Chief of Staff from our negotiations, but, you know, I can't say that I disagree with the principle, and I'm very happy to carry out this order for that reason. You know, and come to think of it, Super Dude did all of this without the assistance of the status report that I usually provide at the end of the monthly card game video. I totally forgot about it, because I'm an idiot, but I'm going to go ahead and splice it in here. If you don't want to watch it, just skip about a minute and some change ahead of right now. Okay. Well, consider your status as updated. It's Facebook, except in a World War II. Oh my god, literally my Facebook just went off right there. What a nerd. Let me talk a little bit about what I want my fleets to do. Let's see, the first, which is down here, the fifth, which is over here getting repaired. So it's going to be coming online in a couple of days. So the first, the fifth, the 8th, which is over here, the 11th, the 13th, and the 14th fleets are all going to be participating in the advance on Hawaii via Palmyra. Several of these fleets already have Marines aboard, so I'm just going to be sending them straight away. There's no reason to dilly-dally and wait. We can just concentrate ourselves a little bit, probably in the area of Gilbert here, and head on over to Palmyra, pay it a visit. The 4th and the 12th fleets, you can see them here. They're going to be re-upping on planes, probably at Wake? I'm not sure. They could go to Wake, they could go to Marshall, they could do either one. And then once they get planes, they're going to either, if Palmyra ends up being resolutely defended, they'll be attacking there. Otherwise, they're going to be heading to Hawaii to start softening it up, which could be tricky. Let's see, the 6th, which is here, the 7th fleet, which is the one with just 4 destroyers in it, and the as yet uncommissioned 10th fleet, which will just be two destroyers, will be bringing army troops to the west. And I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to send those troops, come to think of it. Let's actually take a look at the theater over here. I'm thinking probably Bangkok, which is right here. Yeah, we can land them at Bangkok, just have them debark, and they can go up to Rangoon here, and then head on through, possibly. Might be getting ahead of myself here, but head on north here to Imphal, I think is this base. And then maybe into India, who knows? I don't know what the army will do. The army is free to do whatever it wants. It could tell its troops to just hang out there if they want. So I don't have any idea what stupid decisions they're going to make, and it's frankly not my problem. Let's see, and that leaves a couple of fleets, the 2nd, 3rd, and the 9th, which are currently hitting Seattle right now. I'm going to have them continue to do that. I'm going to have them attack the land forces there, because those are all Marines that could potentially be used against us at Hawaii, so I'm going to try to take them out if I can. If I find that it's not really worth the losses, I'll just bug out and basically do what I'm doing with the 4th and the 12th. So that is the idea for the time being. I'm going to start giving out orders, and it's going to be a hell of a party. Woo, spring break! Okay, the orders have been given out, and we've entered the battle phase. Prepare yourselves. And oh, well, okay. I was a little bit concerned that the enemy would add planes to these bases, but apparently my worries are unjustified. I would like them to actually eliminate the airfield, just to be on the safe side. And then they can bomb the Marines that are here. They do have planes there now, see? My fears were well-founded. I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT. Oh man, they do have planes there. Yeah, I think that was a smart decision. Meanwhile, it's good experience for him too. Oh, dear God. So what's that total to now? 19? 21? Something like that now? I can't math. I don't know how to do it. I think taking out the airfield would be prudent. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say at the start of this section, I guess, that I'm worried that we will actually get bombed. Because they could add planes, and it's looking like they did. We're taking them out pretty handily, so I'm not too worried about it. We are going to shell them. And they only have 30 units, or 30 troops in that Marine unit. I'm not going to comment about the units within that unit. It's a private matter. So we're gonna shell whatever. I'm just gonna tell them to go hog wild, and I'll get back with you with the results, both of this fleet and the other one, that are set to shell Seattle. Just wanted to make a quick note here. You can see that the 6th Fleet has a couple of units of troops on its transports, and what happens is these are army troops, and they will just ask you if they can board your transports. In this case, we actually want them, so we are going to go ahead and take them to Bangkok, and they'll have a big party. It won't be just one night in Bangkok. I don't know what they're actually going to do, because I think that the units that we've loaded up have either got commands to occupy Palmyra or to defend Wake. So I don't know how the AI is going to react to being transported to Bangkok. I don't know if they'll even debark, but might as well just send them on over there. But that'll happen next turn. Meanwhile, I said that I would get back to you guys with the results of our bombardment of Seattle. It is more or less destroyed. They don't have any Marines left. Let's see what their yield is. It's 1. I think that's the lowest it'll go. Their airfield has been completely destroyed. It will take them a few months to repair that. So they're boned. They're hosed. The 3rd Fleet, the 9th Fleet, and the 2nd Fleet are getting into position to attack San Francisco. The 9th will actually be able to shell it. The 3rd will be able to bomb it with planes. So that's all the news that's fit to print. I'm just going to give some of my other dudes here varying orders of varying interest. Alright, it's time to do to San Francisco what we did to Seattle, and they did not send planes my way, so I'm just going to completely wreck everything. I'm gonna start by bombing the shit out of their airfields, and let's see what happens with that. Splat, splat, and splat again. Delightful. So they don't have any planes there. They did not re-up on planes, probably because they knew that I had my fleets by Seattle, so they tried to send everything up that way, but it didn't help them. So far, these air bases are pretty resilient. They're still not inoperable. They're operable, would be the way to put it, I guess. So, shucks, that's too bad. Well, we're going to keep bombing the shit out of them until they're gone. And also, we will be shelling them this turn. San Francisco has been taken care of. We are now moving on to Los Angeles. And they have no land troops here. So, that's not an issue then. I actually only have 16 planes attacking at this moment, but that's the nearest fleet, I guess. Let's take out their airfields if we can. And I do want to apologize to you guys for my... Oh, very nice. Actually, they managed to take out that airfield. I do want to apologize to you guys for my just reprehensible Randy Newman impression, I guess we'll call it. And this should be pretty much all she wrote as far as our raid on the west coast of the United States. This has not been really a part of what Super Dude wanted me to do, but I think it is it's an auxiliary. It's in support of his aims, I feel. So I feel completely justified. Plus, it's a lot of fun for me. So that's really what counts. Okay, we're going to keep bombing them, and our task force that is setting sail for Palmyra will be leaving probably this coming day. Oh, well, that one's taken care of too. Outstanding. It's been several days now since I gave you guys a status update. It is April the 11th now. And the reason I haven't updated you guys is because nothing's really happening. The enemy doesn't have much of a fleet to speak of, so I've just been kind of merrily ordering my ships around in the Pacific, and it's been a great time. We've had a lot of fun. We've got several fleets preparing to attack Palmyra. You can see this group that is coming back from California, actually, is going to be swinging by. I've realized that it was pretty stupid of me to be attacking Palmyra without any kind of air support. So I had most of my ships just wait here in this big cluster, which looks like, to me, it looks like a Scottish Terrier singing the blues. He's looking up and he's really just like, he's feeling it. Anybody see that? There's the ear, there's the eye, there's the nose, and there's the mouth. He's just like, oh, I got those Scottish Terrier blues. I'm so very tiny, but I've got such a big personality. And then we've got 4th Fleet over here. They're going to be providing some air support too. They've been replenished of planes and supplies, and they're very happy. Fleet 12 is resupplying now. They will be probably joining the party a little bit late, but better late than never. Meanwhile, we have these fleets in Southeast Asia redistributing the army to that area. I incorrectly ordered the 10th Fleet to go to Saigon. I meant for them to go to Hanoi, which is very Hanoiing. You can see that the 10th Fleet is all of 2 destroyers commanded by Kusaka R, the rated R version of Kusaka, so that's the one with boobs, I guess. And so he's going to be swinging up to Hanoi to pick up a division there that is... I don't understand how the game handles the army, to be totally honest with you. Let's take a look at that. Because there should be an army division here in Hanoi. And their mission, they're commanded by Terauchi, is to occupy Rangoon. They can get to Rangoon from here. They can do it. They just need to set their minds to it. You can see they could go, down the whole length of Vietnam and then over here and then to Rangoon, but they're not doing it. They've been like that for the entire month, so I'm going to give them a little helping hand and pick them up and drop them off, I guess, at Bangkok, and we'll see what they do from there. The other thing, I have no idea if these divisions that I have loaded on the 6th and 7th, if they'll be like, okay, let's go attack Rangoon. I really don't know. I could, I guess, just land them at Rangoon. I don't even know if they'll debark once I hit Bangkok, so we'll see. I mean, but they'd be fools not to. But that's another matter entirely. So I'm not sure how this is going to go. I honestly, the only time I've really used the army in this game very much is just to land them at an enemy port, and they obviously will just do what they do. They'll have to fight in that case, but I don't know. I don't really know what to do with these guys. We'll see what happens with that. As far as Palmyra, they're getting a whole lot of ships sent their way. I expect that we'll be able to handle them very quickly, but I am just about, I think, another day out before I can actually launch the attack, because the 3rd Fleet over here is just a smidge out of range. So I don't think... Let's actually take a look at the weather too. They could get into strike position here, but is that... Well, I could launch the strike, but I don't want to endanger them too much. I could do it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and move the 3rd Fleet here-ish so that they can actually bomb them. I'm going to put a cap up, and I'm not going to move the 9th and the 2nd Fleet into this square so that they can be protected. I think yeah, I like that idea. We're going to go ahead and do it. So that's the plan. Do I have any other fleets that can really do anything? The 4th Fleet is a little bit out of range. I was hoping to coordinate our strikes so that we could attack with both the 3rd and the 4th, but it may not be necessary. We'll go ahead and, yeah, we're going to go ahead and attack with the 3rd and hope for the best.